Hello everybody and welcome back to another new and noteworthy mod review. Today we're going to take a look at the tow chain with hook. But before that, oh my god, a train! Woo! This recovery is brought to you by Bad Habit 99 and CBW Farms LLC. Thank you for being farm barons. So the tow chain with hook is a mod that can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, and very likely for the entire duration of Farm Sim 22, this mod is going to be available for PC only because it does make use of an additional script. Now, as we saw in a rather dramatic staged format, the tow chain can be used to help tow vehicles or other things out of harm's way, or to recover them should they, find their way upside down, in a ditch, or any other reason that they are not able to pull themselves out of whatever trouble you have put them into on their own. Now, when we get back here to the shop, I want to show you where you can find this in the in-game shop menu, and then kind of walk you through using the tow chain with hitch, because it's not as straightforward as maybe one would hope. So if we go to our shop menu, we're going to go to either tools and then miscellaneous, and we'll scroll over and we'll find the tow chain with hook 1.5 meter, 2.5 meter, and 3.5 meter variants. Or easier enough, we can come down here to mods and DLCs and find the tow chain with hook. Again, $500 for the 1.5 meter variant. There are no configuration options. 2.5 meter variant is $600, and the 3.5 meter variant is $700. Now, when you buy them, they are just going to appear here down at the shop, just on the ground here, and you'll see when I walk up to them, little numbers appear, 2, 3, and 4. Well, that is because tow chain 1 is over there, hooked up to our tractor and our pickup truck. So I really like the addition of these numbers because it really helps you identify, if you have more than one tow chain, which one you are possibly interacting with. If you take a look here at the F1 menu, you can see now that we have 4 chains listed, and then the distance that they are from the person. Tow chain 1 is 27.6 meters away and is attached with the hook mounted, and it is the one that is currently selected. Tow chain 2 is 1.6 meters away, now 1 meter away. It is not attached, nor is the hook connected. Tow chain 3 and tow chain 4. There are several key bindings to be aware of with this, and that's where it gets a little confusing. Y to switch to the next chain. And what you're going to see is now the 2 has an asterisk before and after. The F1 menu show that it is selected. Y again, we're going to move it to 3, and Y again, we're going to move it to 4. So when you have it selected, that is when basically you are able to manipulate it with these other options. Let's go ahead and pick this up, and you'll notice that one end is red, one end is not painted. We're going to use the painted version. I find the longest one, the 2.5 meter one, a little difficult to use because it weighs the most, and it seems like you don't want to hold it as much. So I'm going to use the 2.5 meter one, and I'm going to bring it over here, and you'll see when I get it over here close, I'm just going to drop it. Now I've released it. I'm going to jump in the tractor, and I have an option to Q, connect the tow chain, and now the tow chain is connected to the Massey Ferguson tractor. You'll also see that I have a choice of X, connect the chain to itself. So now that it is hooked around itself, we can basically drive around and not have to worry about dragging a chain behind us. And we can hit X to detach the chain, just like that. We can hit Q to detach the chain from the tractor. But the red always needs to go to the thing that you are towing with, And the unpainted version always needs to connect to the thing that you are actually going to be towing. Now we also have a menu, left shift T to open the tow hook chains menu. So we can turn on and off attach by hand. We can turn on and off the show help information. We can turn on and off the chain ID. We can set how far away or how close we have to be to the chain for the chain ID to appear. So I have to then go down here and hit OK. And now we have to get super close to the chain before the chain ID appears. Supposedly. Let's set this back. Left shift T. Chain operation distance. So basically that is the distance for which we can do things. Let's jump to something distant. So we're more than 100 meters away now. You can see that we do not have the information in the F1 menu. As we get closer to the shop, we're going to get within that 100 meter range, and then we will be able to see the F1 menu information pop up. Pretty straightforward on that. Left shift T. Steering modes, both auto only or manual only. We're going to demonstrate that here in a little bit. And auto turn off vehicle, off or on. We're going to explain what that feature is also. Now let's go ahead and connect something to our John Deere tractor. We can come up here, and the John Deere tractor already has a hitch. So we don't have to worry about connecting the hook to this particular tractor like we would with the pickup truck. So we're going to connect our chain there. You'll see when we walk up here, we have then the option to mount towing chain to John Deere 7810. It's a little far away, so we should probably jump in here and do it forward, else it's going to jump a lot of things. So we're going to grab it, and once we have it grabbed, we can hit Z to connect the tow chain hook. X to attach to vehicle. There we go. So again, like I said, it's a little confusing on here. Z attaches and unattaches the tow chain hook. You can see where it says unmount tow chain hook or mount towing hook to John Deere. And then we have Alt. And then we have a whole bunch of commands to move the hook around. 4 goes up. Or sorry, 7 goes up. 9 goes down. 8 brings it out. 5 brings it in. 4 to the left. 5 or 6 to the right. And so forth. And that allows you to position the tow hook on something like this pickup truck that doesn't have a front hitch. Because without the tow hook, I wouldn't be able to attach a tow chain to the front of this truck. I could probably attach it to the rear because I do have some sort of hitch back there. But I do need the tow hook to attach this to the front of the truck. Then we have X to attach and detach the tow chain. And when we get into our towing vehicle now, we can drive. And as we turn, you'll see what we are towing continues to go straight. We're also getting pretty much no aid from the vehicle behind us. It is, in essence, kind of in neutral at this point. So what we could do is I can hit B to turn on towed vehicle's throttle. And you'll see now that we have exhaust coming out the vehicle. It is running. And when we drive, now the towed vehicle is driving along with us. in essence. But it's still not turning. So we have the option of Y to turn on steering mode. We have auto. And under auto, it will basically auto steer the tractor, hence the name, to stay behind what you are using to tow the vehicle with. For the more advanced player, you have manual. And now the player gets to steer the towed vehicle on their own. Just like that. So we're going to hit that back to Y, back to auto, just to make it a lot easier on me. Then we have Alt-B, towing chain. We're telling it to go forward. Alt-B. We can now tell it to drive backwards, which will obviously put this in a bit of contention. And then it basically decides, what, you know what, I need to drive forward. But if you were maybe trying to pull something from behind, you would want to tell it, hey, I want you to drive backwards as opposed to forwards. And that's what Alt-B would do. We hit it again, and we can toggle it now to drive forwards. Once we have recovered our vehicle, we're going to come down here, and we are going to disconnect the chain with X. And now we are free to drive our previously stuck vehicle without the chain. We come here, we get an X to connect the chain back to itself. We hit X and then Q to completely disconnect the chain. And then at that point, we can pick it up and move it wherever we want. So guys, that is basically the operation of the tow chain. I know I kind of fumbled a little bit with respect to the hook, and that's just because of how the prompting is coming up. It's a little confusing. So let me demonstrate that again. So we're going to connect the tow chain. What you are towing always needs to, or what you are using to tow always needs to be connected to the red. And what you are going to be towing needs to be connected to the unpainted portion of the chain. So when we come up here, it says towing chain, mount towing hook to John Deere 7810 Z. There we go. And then we would need to hit Alt, and then we would need to basically use our number pad to move this. Sorry, to move this around to wherever it needs to be. But we don't need the towing hook on something that already has a tow, already has a hitch to it, because of the fact that, well, we're going to be connecting it to a hitch. So we're going to come up here, we're going to grab our chain, and we're going to hit X, and it's going to be attached. At that point, we are free to tow our vehicle. So this mod is perfect for those that are looking to maybe do a little bit of role playing, or maybe you just often find yourself getting stuck. And if you find yourself getting stuck, then the tow chain is going to be kind of the perfect answer for you, because now you can unstuck yourself. Maybe you can help right yourself if you tend to flip a vehicle over on a regular basis. Let me know what you think down in the comments below of the tow chain. It can be a bit to digest initially, but take your time, use the F1 menu, and you will get it figured out. I have no doubts. And until next time, happy farming.